If you haven't yet noticed, the winter holidays are coming. They're coming. If the shortening days and the cool mornings weren't a signal to us, retail stores and commercials have put us on high alert, have they not? Before we had even handed out our Halloween candy to trick-or-treaters, stores displayed Christmas trees with sparkling lights, promising us a magical season. Holiday gift sets, strategically placed near the checkout line, remind us to not delay for our shopping for our loved ones. Thanksgiving, Hanukkah, winter solstice, Christmas, they are all right around the corner. We enter the most magical, most wonderful time of the year in which we take in two radically different messages. One, the message we all know that we're supposed to embody from now until January 1st. The religious or spiritual belief that the purpose of this season is our own reconnection with all that is life-giving and to offer gratitude to the universe for all that we have. And then there's the other message, the secular concept rising out of capitalism that greets us from every store, every magazine, every commercial. Make your gratitude and love real by purchasing just one more item. Just one more, that's all. A platter with the word grateful etched onto it. I am so grateful. A diamond for your beloved, a box full of holiday decorations to show that you know the reason for the season, and gosh darn it, you know how to display that reason so beautifully also. Daily, no matter what time of year, social and print media send us subtle and not so subtle reminders that what we already have really isn't enough. And they amp this up during the holidays. And we all know their answer for us that they beg us to take on as ours. If we want to feel sated and achieve a feeling of completion, all we have to do is open up our wallets and consume just that one more thing. Easy, done, no spiritual work required. Thank you very much. I'll pay for it. Except that all of us know that whatever feeling of satisfaction that comes when we open up our wallet and put that money on the counter, that satisfaction is fleeting, if at all. In Tom Hawkins' reflection earlier, he asked us all the question, how much is enough? Have you ever had a feeling of enough in your lives? Enough sleep, enough love, enough chocolate, enough books, enough music. Now those things are wonderful and life-affirming, and maybe we should never feel as if we have too much of those. But what about having enough money, enough clothes, clout, shoes, stuff overflowing out of one more closet? They tempt us with this belief that having more will help us forget about any holes that might exist in here. Each week, my simple trip to the supermarket, it actually becomes a silent battle of wills. It's me against the supermarket. My intention is to walk in and buy only what I need, versus all of the temptations that leap out at me from every single aisle. Holiday-themed plastic storage containers. I didn't know I needed those, but maybe I do. Soy-based cinnamon-flavored holiday nog. I don't even like holiday nog, but it looks so appealing on the shelf. My life would be perfect if only I drank that tonight as I check Facebook. And of course, those little individual packets of maple almond butter, I don't even eat almond maple butter, but in those little tiny packets, it would be the most delicious things ever, I know. My trip to Vaughn's a few days ago, it left me feeling very good about my resolve. I exited the store with mostly what I needed, plus one eucalyptus scented candle for the house. And I felt victorious over all of those marketing strategies put into place to test my resolve. And then leaving the store and making my way to Troop, I drove just 0.3 of a mile, and I passed by a group of people who were huddled under a freeway overpass. Camping tents were their only home for the evening, their shelter against these cooler nights, and their shelter against prying eyes like mine. As I drove past them, both wanting to really see and know that they're there, and also desperately not wanting to see and know that they're there. Their presence, a stark reminder of all that is not right in our world. And the question ran through my mind again, how much is enough for any one of us? Is there one definitive answer that covers us all? Is there an equation that we can use to determine exactly the amount of enough in our lives? I love Wendell Berry's reflections in his Sabbath poems, and he makes us start at an answer. He writes, "To care for what we know requires care for what we don't. The world's lives dark and the soil, dark and the dark. Forbearance is the first care we give to what we do not know. We live by lives we don't intend, lives that exceed our thoughts and needs, outlast our designs, staying by passing through, surviving again and again the risky passages from ice to warmth, dark to light. Rightness of scale is our second care, the willingness to think and work within the limits of our competence, to do no permanent wrong to anything of permanent worth to the earth's life, known or unknown, now or ever, never destroying by knowledge unknowingly what we do not know, so that the world and its mystery, the known, unknown world, will live and thrive just as we live. And our competence to do no permanent wrong to the land is limited by the land's competence to suffer our ignorance, our errors, and provided the scale is right, to recover, to be made whole. Berry offers us an equation of enough. Forbearance plus rightness of scale equals wholeness. Forbearance means refraining from something or patient endurance. That little quail in our story for all ages showed us a perfect example of forbearance, eschewing the immediate gratification of eating up all those seeds, knowing that she would be full in the moment, but ultimately also be trapped, versus waiting for what would really fill her up, which was freedom. In my own life, that kind of forbearance means shutting out as much as possible that constant refrain sung by marketing companies, buy more stuff, and instead really working to be content with what I have, both the tangible and intangible gifts of the heart. Rightness of scale. That's the 7th principle in permaculture. Permaculture is the philosophy on which our Troop Learning Garden was designed and implemented, and it carries this central message. Working with nature, not against her, results in more beautiful, abundant, and forgiving gardens, and really more thriving lives for us. Rightness of scale almost always means to go smaller, not bigger. And when systems, whether we mean a garden or a congregation or our own personal lives, when we can make them smaller, they can be managed with less resources, which results in them being more energy efficient. I spend a lot of time in my kitchen at home when I'm not at Troop. And when I think about rightness of scale on a personal level, for me, it has almost always meant getting back to a more simple method of cooking. Less electric appliances, fewer complicated recipes that require expensive ingredients that I have to go out and buy and use one time. Right? We should have a little party of all of our used one-time ingredients, and we can make something really amazing in the kitchen for after the service. And relying more on my own chopping and stirring, which actually frees up more money, it frees up more heart space, and it frees up time for other loves in my life. As we enter full force into Thanksgiving and the winter holidays, if you feel yourself being pulled toward a consumption that feels out of balance for you and you in your own life, remember the equation: forbearance plus rightness of scale equals wholeness. Now, how you define the variables in that equation is totally up to you. Don't use my definitions. As a way to ground myself in the spiritual message of this season, this reconnection with all that is life-giving and remembering to offer gratitude out to the universe, a poem by David White has become my holiday mantra. And so I share it and leave his words with you today. Enough. These few words are enough. If not these words, this breath, if not this breath, this sitting here. This opening to life we have refused again and again until now. May each of you be filled with the sense of enough this holiday season. And we sing together our closing hymn, number 151, I Wish I Knew How. Please rise.